offer is try some monitoring progress problems. So on your note page that you picked up on the way in today, let's make sure we're clear on what the title of our assignment is. Because I did get some emails from a few of you in here and some messages from a few of you in here that said, I mean, you didn't actually say this, but I could interpret it digitally, like we had our digital lesson yesterday. The way I took it was like, 1.2 solving multi-step equations. McCoy, are you crazy? I got to do all 7 pages? What in the world? That's not how you said it. That's just how I interpreted it. Now, if that's what you thought, that wasn't it. That's just the title, man. Okay? It's like when you're filling out your note page, I'm putting my name, obviously, McCoy. The section is 1.2. The title is Solving Multi-Step Equations. And the page numbers are 11 to 18. That is not the assignment. That's just where it's located in the book. That way, when you're looking back at your notes later, you can reference that. And these are your learning goals. These are the things you should know how to do when we're done. That's at the top of all of my slides like that. Okay? And then the way to use this note page, guys, the way I do it, these are just example problems. And to be more specific, if you want, you could say it's the monitoring progress. So you know where they came from. Maybe even be better than example problems, because example might reference the example 1, 2, and so on. So number 1, negative 2n plus 3 equals 9. I put the problem there. I try it. So let's walk through it. The goal in solving equations is to get the variable by itself. I need to get in alone, meaning I need to get rid of 2 things. What are the 2 things? Sarah, what's 1? And what's the other, Cassie? Negative 2. How do I get rid of the 3? Someone besides? Yes? You already did this? Yeah, you guys already did this. Good. You should have done this as homework. However, some of you couldn't get to it. So let's go through it real quick. And those of you who did it, you should be able to tell me quickly what we do. How do we get rid of 3? Go ahead, Quinn. Subtract 3. Subtract 3. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. That makes 3 minus 3 equal 0. And 9 minus 3 is 6. So now I rewrite my equation. Negative 2n equals 6. What's the next step? Someone new. Guys, you guys no longer have assigned seats once I know your name. Jillian. Divide each by negative 2. So we get 1n. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1. Equals. Yeah, positive divided by negative is negative. Negative 3. That's it. How do we check it? Well, we plug it back in. Negative 2 times negative 3 plus 3. Does that equal 9? Well, that's 6. Plus 3 is 9. Hey, we're right. That's correctamundo. Any questions there? That one's the kind of the easy one, right? And for most of you, it's usually when we get to like 1 like 2, where you're like, oh, dude, that one's tough. What's wrong with 2? Yeah, there's a fraction. Okay? You guys, seriously, I was telling one of my other classes, like I had kids, I might offer extra credit this year. If you dress up as a fraction on Halloween and go around and scare people, I'd give you extra credit. You have to take a picture. You're like, aha, I'm a fraction. They freak out because they're scared of fractions. Like everyone's scared of fractions. You can't chop off body parts to become a fraction. Okay? But like I've had pretty creative students like figure out how to make outfits into fractions. So they've done it. But you guys, easy way to get rid of a fraction. Bailey? You could, yeah, you could. You can always move the variable up to the top. Okay? That's not the easy way I was going to show you, but you can always think of it that way. If I put the variable up here, that's 1c. Notice I don't have to show the 1. Over 2 minus 11 equals negative 21. If I don't want that fraction there, yes, Megan? Yeah, I could just get rid of the bottom number. And how do I get rid of that bottom number? Don't subtract. Yeah, since the fraction's like dividing, it means you have to multiply. So if I want to get rid of that fraction, I have to multiply everything on this side by that fraction number, the bottom number, 2. And I multiply this by 2. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. Now notice, over here, that's easy. 2 times negative 21 is negative 42. Over here, it looks a little weirder, but think of it this way. You have half of a C. How many halves do you need to make a whole C? You need 2. So if I have half a C and I have 2 of those 2's cancel, I'm left with a whole C. I like to think of C as like a cookie. I have half a cookie, but I have 2 halves, so I actually have a whole cookie. Score for me. Until I eat the whole cookie, then I have no cookies. All right? And then I have to go 2 times 11 also. You have to multiply it by each term, so that would give me negative 22. But look how much easier that problem is. Right? No more fraction. Now we just add 22. We're left with C equals. Do I have more positives or negatives? Negative 42 and positive 22. I have more negatives. How many more negatives? 20 more negatives. Negative 20. And it's okay to leave your variable on the right. If it really bothers you, at the end you can write it like this. I had some students say, hey, my teacher said, last year my teacher said I got to move that. Okay, that teacher really wants you to move it. Then move it. I don't care. Either place. Okay? That's more standard form, I guess. Any questions there? All right, man. Time we out of this place. Okay, good. Still have some time together. I didn't want you guys to think that I was trying to get rid of you. But I get to eat lunch next, man. It'd be rude for me to eat in front of you. All right. Negative 2x minus 10x plus 12 equals 18. All right. Tell the person next to you what you do first. You can turn and talk to me. Like, Gunnar might talk to you. Aaron might talk to you. Aaron? Aaron, right? You didn't get him. All right, what do we do first? Isabella, yes. Combine like terms. Everyone hear that vocab? Combine like terms. Like terms mean they have the same variable raised to the same power, or they don't have a variable at all. Okay? Combine like terms. Negative 2x minus 10x. If I have 2 negative x's and 10 negative x's, how many negative x's do I have? I have 12 negative x's. For those of you, we're not multiplying, but for those of you that struggle with the subtraction piece, making it, like anytime you see a subtraction in between 2 terms, you can make it plus and make that a minus. It's negative 2x plus negative 10x, which is negative 12x. And then bring down our 12 and bring down our 18. So I did one step, then I rewrite. Now what do I do? Hold on. Logan. So you're trying to get rid of this 12? Okay. So he said the wrong thing. So what do you do? Yeah. So what Logan was right about is you move the 12. He just said add instead of subtract. And guys, when someone says something in here, because I need everyone participating, I need to make sure that if I say something wrong, and I do things wrong all the time, ask my trig students. Like I'm making mistakes all the time, and I'll make them in here. You guys need to speak up. But when I make a mistake, if Jonathan sees me make a mistake, he's like, "McCoy, you did that wrong," or like yelling at me. Okay, he just like raise his hand. Hey, isn't that supposed to be this? Okay. If another student makes a mistake, you just say, "Well, I think shouldn't you do it this way?" There's another way of saying that. All right. So how do we get rid of that negative 12? Sebastian? Yeah, they're multiplying, right? They're multiplying x by it. They're not subtracting. subtracting x or subtracting it from x. They're multiplying. So you do the opposite, which is dividing. You divide by negative 12. And negative 12 divided by negative 12 is? Yeah, it's just 1, right? When you divide something by itself, you get 1. So I'm left with 1x, which we write as x. And then I divide this by negative 12, and most of you would freak out. Or you would recognize it's reduces to negative 1/2, which some of you would have a problem with because that's a fraction. You're like, dude, my answers are never fractions. In this book, they're fractions a lot. In real life, they're fractions or decimals a lot. Don't accidentally just put negative 2 because you associate 6, negative 12, and negative 2. Okay? You should always check it, though. If I put negative 1/2 in here, that gives me positive 1. Negative 1/2 of negative 10 is a positive 5. And plus 12, okay, that gives me 18. It works. All right. Always circle your answer. Questions? All right. I want to do 2 more problems together, then get you guys going on your assignment, okay? What are they? Glad you asked. All right. Here are the 2 problems we're going to do. We're going to do problem number 7 on here and problem number 9 on here. Okay, these were monitoring progress number 7 and number 9. All right? Tell your neighbor what you're going to do first. Let's start with number 7. How many of you think I heard parentheses. How many say we do parentheses first? How many say we do combine like terms first? Those were the 2 things I heard. How many say we do something else first? Okay, here we go again. Parentheses, combine like terms, something else. No comment. Some of you might go no comment. All right. Here we go. I will tell you, like when we're saying combine like terms, are we saying the 2x and the 3x? Yeah, you have to get rid of those parentheses first because 2x times this. So we got to get rid of those parentheses. Now the question is, how do I actually get rid of those parentheses? Yeah, well. Yeah, distributive property. You have this, this thing outside is being multiplied by each thing inside. So distributive property means distribute means to pass it out to each thing. So I'm passing the 2x to 5, so I'm doing 2x times 5, which is 10x. And I'm doing 2x times negative 3, which is negative 6x. Now, some of you would go, couldn't have I just made that 5 minus 3? Can I just do that math? What is 5 minus 3? 2. And what's 2 times 2x? 4x. Well, what's 10x minus 6x? So could you have put those together and then multiplied by 2x? Yeah, that would have been fine. In fact, that would have been quicker. Okay? It's up to you. Either way, you're going to get 4x right there. Okay? The deal is you want to always be able to combine things inside the parentheses like that. Okay, what do I need to bring down? The negative 3x. I'm going to bring all that down and equals 5. I have a trail of work there. Now we combine like terms. We've unlocked that 4x. That gives me 1x. Isn't that convenient? Equals 5. Dude, x equals 5. Why couldn't they just told us that at the beginning? Then we wouldn't do anything. All right. Any questions? All right, here's our big test. Number 9er. Give it a go. You can work with a groupie. That means person next to you. You're not done yet? What do I do? Are you writing it down or are you just doing it in your head? Awesome, man. You're one of those. You guys, I don't know if there's a type of student I haven't had. I've had the I do it in my head student who will sit there and they'll make weird faces while they stare off into space. They're like trying to do it in their head. And then I have the ones that sleep. They like to sleep. Like maybe they're dreaming about the problem, like coming up with it that way. Okay? And then I have the ones that are cranking it out on paper, which usually is the best method. I actually had a student one time tell me, hey, McCoy, this year, my plan is to not do my homework because it's not worth that much. I'm just going to do awesome on my tests and quizzes, and then that's going to pass. And he was a very smart kid, dude. He was my 8th grade quarterback when I had him in 8th grade. He was smarter in 8th grade, I think, because in 9th grade, that was his plan in trig. Yeah, and then when he retook trig his 10th grade year, he did his homework because he didn't pass trig in my class. That was tough. You guys go about it. I mean, you guys are big, bad high school students now. You know how to do it, but I can help you out, I promise. Hi. Yeah. Well, he's graduated now. He was one of my quarterbacks. I had 2 that year. He was my running quarterback. The other one was my throwing quarterback. All right. Here we go. What do I do? Yes, Kaylee. Good. So we distribute first. So we get 15 minus 5x. Now what? Someone on that side of the room. Like there must be extra gravity over there because the hands won't go up as easily. Could be. Logan. You know what? That would be a non-high school question right now. We will address those at lunchtime. All right. Now what, Mac? Anyone else? Mercedes. Add the 15 and add the 6, and we get 21. And now what? Yes. Subtract 2x from 5x. Brady, what'd you get there?
I got negative 7x.
Negative 7x. Notice now I circled those like terms, and then I boxed those. Just help me out. Equals 14. Now what? Hey, by the way, guys, those are kind of like puzzle pieces, right? They can be moved around. Okay. Don't do that yet. Not yet. I will. I'll deal with that here in a minute. Jillian. Subtract 21. Good job. Now notice that's a positive 21. We always look in front of it to see what it is. Okay? So that gives me negative 7 here, and this is a negative 7x. Jason, what do I do now? How do I get that?
You divide negative 7x by negative 7 and also the other side by negative 7.
Good.
And you get x equals 1.
X equals 1. Very good. How many got it right? Good. You had negative 1, so you just missed the negatives. Any questions? Sarah? We're not doing those. It just means we're not doing them right now. I'm going to hand out your assignment, though. Okay?
We can
So
write community calculator.
Assignment is 1 through 18. Show your work, please. If you have questions, ask them. That way I can help out. The more you ask, then I can actually come up here and show work. If you want to check your work, I hang the answer key on the board. Okay? And then when I'm done with the answer key, I put it in the binder over here. So here's the answer key. This is where you come and check. You can only do this because you're big kids. Meaning you don't stand up here and copy the answer. Can I take a picture? No, you can't. But you can refer to the answer key right here. Okay? All right. It's a tool. When you're in college, you just buy the textbook and the answer book. Why? Because you get graded on your tests. If you choose not to do your homework, well, then you probably won't pass your test. And here you get graded on homework too. Yes?
If you cheat, then you're pretty much just cheating yourself because then on the test you won't understand it.
I agree. That's a good call. Okay, so make sure you guys are just using it as a tool. All right? Check your work. It's okay to go out there and look at it. All right, let me know if you have questions, please. I'm going to hand back some paper.